Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Yes, I am in the dark, you guys. All right. So, about 2 days ago, okay, um, Spirit came to me about money. All right. And Father, you I already talked to you. I consulted with you before I started this video. This word is only going to be used just for the reference, the teaching of what I am coming to do today. Okay, but money is a word that the Most High want me to delete from my vocabulary. I don't know. It may sound strange, don't it? Okay, I was like, money. I mean, what could be wrong with that word? But it's something about that word, money. All right. So today I really wanted to come and talk to my father, talk to my ancestors, talk to the ascended masters, as well as the archangels, whoever is going to participate in this reading with me in spirit. All right. Because that's what we're going to talk about today. So before I get into the actual reading, we're just going to read a couple of things that I see um, from the internet first, and then we're going to dive into this because it is something attached to that word. All right, whether we knowingly or unknowingly, it's something about that particular word that the most for is so in is of importance that I am being asked to delete that word from my vocabulary, meaning don't ever say that word again. Okay? It's going to be something that I'm going to have to work on, though. Okay? Because that's a very common word. All right? But there are other alternatives that can be used to make that word into meanings, right? Okay? So let's look at this. And y'all know anytime I go into a lot of my information, I always pull from the Bible, okay? Because that's part of my teachings, that's part of my calling, and that's what I do, okay? So, we're talking about money, the word, all right? It says the Bible contains over 2,300 verses on money, all right? Treating it as a tool for stewardship rather than an end goal. All right. And then it goes into it says that it teaches that while money is neutral, it's saying that it's neutral here. All right. But apparently it's not neutral, it's something else. All right. And when I went and looked up the word money, we got, I think you pronounce it mammon, came up with that word. And when I look, well, yeah, let's go there now since I done jumped. Give me a second because I do want to bring that up too. Because that's what came up when I went to that particular word. So let's look it up. Let's see if I still got it on the screen here. Okay. Look like I already took it off my screen. So let me put it back up there. And y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is gonna be something that I'm also gonna have to uh, really work on when he says to delete this word from my vocabulary. So let's go back and let me find where I was looking at when that caught my attention because it's been a couple of days, like 2 or 3 days ago. I was talking about. I mean, when he brought it to my attention, and I was like, okay, I got to work on that. All right, so bear with me. We're going to get to where we need to get to, but just bear with me. Maybe I can find it here. And if I don't hurry up and see it, I'm just going to come back and just attach on maybe to the video. And I was like, wow. I mean, but it's something about that particular word, okay? And really now that I've been looking over it, y'all, the how much is the information behind that one word. That right there also shed a light bulb moment in my head when I was seeing, like, you know how it just be some of the most common things you would that would come to your attention, and then when you was to just look at up certain words or things and you see how much information is really out there about it, you be like, wow. With it being such a common word, you wouldn't think it would have so much explanations following behind that one word. And I'm like, golly, I ain't even never thought about it like this. But yeah, it's like that. And this is one of those words. And I'm not saying where I was at, you guys. I may have been on that phone when I looked up that information. But let's go on with what we have, and maybe we'll cross it, okay? But that came up as well. Now, we always say, they say money is the root of all evil, right? So maybe maybe we've been misinterpreting that. I think it is a little bit more to that. Okay, like seriously, um, it's something about a root. All right. Not only is it something about a root, is what grows. It's something, because if anything is a root is something to grow, right? Okay, so it talks about, like I said, it's mentioned 2,300 contains over 2,300 verses, okay? And then it talk about it with stewardship. It talks about it with heart issues. It talks about it about giving and contentment. It talks about it with the warnings on wrath. It talks about the purpose of it. And then it also is talked about not only in the Old Testament, it talks about it in the New Testament. Okay, and then it go into the different types. Okay, it's even different types, and we all know that, right? Okay, so and and then we go on down here. Like I said, we're gonna get into some chords, and we're gonna look a little deeper here. But but it was something about the mammon I saw, and it caught my attention. And let me see if I type it this way, will it come up? Okay, here we go. Mammon. Now it says mammon. It derived from a Aramaic for money or wealth, representing the personification of materialistic greed, featured as, oh, that's what it is. It's a false god. All right. That's why he want me to delete that word from my vocabulary, because it's actually a god. Okay. So just like he don't really want me to say God, he said call him the Most High. All right. Just like when you think about the Bible scripture, um, where it says, "I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me." That Bible verse is not about Christ. That actual scripture is about a God. It's Amy. I think that's the name. It's not Christ. Just like the word money. We go around saying money, 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 but we are actually talking about a false God. It's a God. Like a, you would look at it, I won't say it's like a, I don't want to say, well, it could be on the level of being like a deity. Just like God is a deity. Amy, Christ, they are deities, right? Okay. So apparently it's one that don't coincide with the Most High. Okay. For him to not want his daughter to say that word. All right. He told me to delete that word from my vocabulary. Okay. So when you don't see that when you just uh behind the word money. But if you look at it from mammon, you'll see exactly what I'm saying right there. And that demands uh allegiance, okay? That's like you're putting it, giving it like authority, and cause people to prioritize wealth over spiritual. Okay, now it makes sense, especially with me knowing who I am. Now I see why my father is telling me to delete this word from my vocabulary. It says ethical or human concern, okay? So it says while money is a neutral, necessary mediums of exchange, mammon represent the love of money and spiritual bondage to it. So now it makes sense for me. And it may make sense to some of you guys depending on the levels you're at. Okay? Now, we mammon also is idolatry. All right? It's idolatry as well. Okay? And then it is and again it's saying it's a neutral tool, but it's neutral because it can be used for the good or for the bad, dependent, right? And it's idolatry because it becomes a master, creating an idol of material security that competes, look, key word, that competes with God and trust. All right. So the Most High told me to no longer say that word. And now I see why he's telling me that. Because now, me knowing who I am, it makes sense to me. All right. So yeah, back to that Bible verse in Philippians. I can do all things. That's why a lot of times y'all see that it actually says I can do all things through him. It don't even have Christ in there. Because that tells me already some of the scholars or whoever started making money off of that particular Bible verse, they knew they weren't talking about the same Christ that sacrificed his life. They knew it. It wasn't him. It was a whole other deity. Okay. All right. So we're going to go real quick because now it makes sense to me. But I also wanted to come and put this video because I want to also open the eyes of others, okay? Maybe there's something you're going to think about, okay? Because there are various other words that can take the place of us just saying that, all right? Um, let's go and see some of the other words that can be used, okay, for that word, okay? You can say cash, like cash, funds. Growing up, I did used to say that. You got some cash. I really did. When I saw cash, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. Because I really did growing up. Before I really started putting that word in my mouth, I used to go around telling my uncles, my aunties, sometimes, you got some cash. Can I hold some cash? You got some cash I can borrow? I really did. So now it makes sense. Okay. Even from a young age, that word wasn't a part of my vocabulary. But as I grew older, I incorporated that word. But the Most High is taking me back to time now to no longer use that word. Okay? So, funds, finances, uh, even got notes out here. I guess you can even write a note, or coins, or change. I'll be like, you got some spare change, or you got some change. That used to be another word I used to use. So you can go to the synonyms. You can find multiple other words. Okay, it give you a whole slew of words. Okay, that you can use besides just saying that particular word, money. All right. And so I'm only saying that just like I said, I conversed it with Spirit before I came with this message to let them know I'm only saying this name just for video purpose. Okay? I'm not saying it just uh for money to receive no power or no glory from me in this message. All right? So let's look at some of these right quick, okay? All right, Spirit, let's talk about it. So now a lot of that, it makes sense to me. And maybe, like I said, maybe a lot of you guys never even thought about it. Okay. You know, we use it so common. All right. Yeah. I must. It may help. It may help somebody with something because look what the first card say. Let me put some light on this. Make sure y'all see it. Look at the first card and what it say. Hope y'all can see it because this is my dark phone. Y'all see that word? Okay. It caught my attention. And then look what it say, y'all. The second card. Y'all see it? Oh my. Okay. Anything else here? All right, I'm gonna go one more just in case I miss something here. Okay, I didn't miss anything there. Okay, so those are the two that was given to me. Okay, and y'all know already what we're talking about, right? And that has been a word that the Most High has told me to take from my vocabulary. All right. Now with escape coming out here, so that tells me that word put some type of hold on you. Okay. That one word is putting a hold on some people's. Okay. All right. And then when we see this word savings, maybe it's putting something so much on of a hold onto the peoples to the point that once it get released or you denounce it, your money could potentially start to build because savings means you're building up, right? Okay. So we're gonna read both cards right quick and then we're gonna go a little deeper. All right. That's what we're gonna well actually we're gonna get some more clarifiers first and then we're gonna go a little deeper. So we're gonna talk about these one at a time. All right. So the first one, escape. It says doubts weigh heavy and the leap forward seems too far. It says crushed by the burdens of reality, seeking solace in the thought of vanishing. Because when we feel like we don't have it, a lot of people feel like our hope is lost. A lot of people have taken their lives, they taken family lives over this. Okay, but this one word, all right, it needs to be exempt, all right, because we see we have escape out here. And like they say in the Bible, I think we've really been taking that verse out of context. Maybe Spirit was really trying to tell his people something about that word. Because he said it's the root, right? So, and we just said that it was what? It was a god, a false god, true enough, but that false god could easily be a deity. All right? That has taken root where you're going to have to denounce it, come up out of it to escape. Okay? So we want to look at some one words with some clarifiers. All right, Spirit? So give us a little bit more insight here, please. We're on this one word, escape. And this one word, escape, is on card number 6. All right? So let's look up 6 real quick. Let's look up 6 real quick. Let's look up 6. Now, the number 6, it talks about harmony, balance, and human responsibility. Y'all see that? Harmony. It's like you're joining into that. You're joining into with that false god. Okay. You're kind of forming something to fall into harmony with it. That's why a lot of times when you don't have, it hits you so hard. Okay. That's why when sometimes when you don't have, it's like it shifts you. Okay. That's why I feel that the uh, the way that this word has been placed to the point where the elites, I think the elites already know the understanding. It's 11 o'clock as well. The elites already knew something about this. I do feel that. That's why their goal was to what? Keep us down while they rise, right? And you know, have you not known a lot of times they don't utilize that word? They use wealth, stock, cash. They don't too much say nothing about that word. Just really think back. Just think about some of the times some of those presidents have come. They don't really use that word. Have y'all ever noticed that? Have y'all ever peeped game that? Wow, they really don't. Really don't say that word. They'll use another word, right? Okay, it's a reason. Okay, so let's go a little further. Let's talk about this escape. We're gonna go through one time. We're gonna go on through it because it may be more than one. Because y'all know I'm gonna come back with talk with some tarot, okay? But we're gonna go through this once, and then we're gonna come back with some with tarot with the final message. We got 3 so far. We got 3, and we're talking about escape. I don't think they want me to tell y'all. Y'all, my car is going all kind of ways. I don't think they wanted y'all to know about this word. Okay, we finally got to the end. So this is what we got here. All right. We got patience, gratitude, celebration, and beneath. That's what we got. So we're talking about the escape and what else we can have on there. We got patience, gratitude, celebration, and beneath. And when you think about beneath, that's where a lot of this stuff coming from. You know that, right? Okay? A lot of it is coming from beneath us. Okay? Not above us, but beneath us. Okay? All right? Key word was what? A false god, right? Okay? That's coming from beneath us. Okay? But by us using that word, we're putting it above us. Okay? So we got to escape. All right? And then once you escape, you'll probably be able to then have more patience. Okay? Have more gratitude. Have more, we finna go next to what? Savings. Have more savings to celebrate. Okay? Because we got beneath. Okay? Now, let's go over now and talk about savings. And then we're going to come back and talk about both. Savings talks about anticipating needs, prevent last minute scrambles. So when you're in a scramble, you already have it, right? There go to gratitude. Okay? And then not only that, there go to patience. There go to celebration, right? And then it says a financial cushion provide comfort during tough times. Okay? You'll have it, it'll be on display when you need it, right? I don't have to be calling, uh, asking nobody, can you borrow? Okay? I won't have to be going to social media asking for help and knowing 9 times out of 10 I wasn't gonna get the help no way. But the word do say ask. And I did that part. I asked. But the Most High said, but the Most High also said what? He said, I'm going to supply your needs. All right? He said, I'll supply your needs. Okay? Now, let's talk about savings. And then we're going to talk about this all together. All right? And I'm going to be asking questions as I go through. All right? So overall, the key word we're talking about with this message here, Spirit, one that you told me to delete from my vocabulary. All right? Because some things we take it for granted and we look over it and not knowing that it be some of the little smallest things that really be hindering us. Okay? It probably just I look at it, just like even a diet. Okay, maybe change just a few things in your diet, you start seeing results and you losing weight. Maybe if you change key words that you use, okay, can shift things in your life. Okay, all right, you'll be amazed. That's why I'm learning to try to grab hold of some of these things because I want to change my life for the better. I want better in my life. But I don't think they want me to talk about this though, 'cause my cards just been jumbling all kind of ways since I've been trying to go through these cards. All right, now here we got light. It got plan ahead. Look at that. You have time to plan ahead while you got your savings. We got light. You won't have that heavy burden on you, right? Even got intuition out here, okay? Utilizing your intuition, okay? And then you got warmth, okay? That warmth also give you what? Comfort, okay? And then we got no out here. We don't have to worry about being rejected. Why? Because we already will have it. You see it? Y'all seeing it? Okay? And then we got detox. Look at that. What did I just say? Some of the little keywords, okay, can probably change. And that detox might be that detoxing some just one, two, three words from your vocabulary. Okay, could help you. And then look at that final word. There you go. What it say? Well, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all read it, cause I know you can see it. Y'all see that word? Come on now, and look what's up there. Y'all see the eyes? That was a secret right there. I just told y'all. That was a secret because you think about it. They don't use this word. They do not use this word. Okay, that was a secret. All right, there. Now let's go on. I'm trying to get it stacked. I'm trying to get it stacked because something telling me I might want to take a picture at the end of this message. So I want to have my cards kind of already stacked the way I want it to be, okay? All right. Now, and there that go. Savings. So we're talking about the M word. I'm trying to work on it already, y'all. All right, we're talking about that M word, okay? All right, so let's get into some tarot, y'all. Let's go. So we're gonna start at the beginning from when Spirit brought this to my attention about 2 days ago. All right. So Father, I am taking heed to what you have asked me to do. And not only me, Father, I'm also sharing it with others so that they also can have an understanding. Give it a try. They say don't knock it until you try it. Maybe just go without saying that word for a while. See will anything change or shift in your life. Okay? All right. So, Spirit, you told me no longer say that. And I feel like I found the reason already. Okay? But can you tell me a little bit more when it comes to the reason? Can you tell me just a little bit more when it comes to the reason? Okay, the first card, look at that. Seven of Swords. First card out. Seven of Swords. And we know already the Seven of Swords talks about what? That sneakiness. It talks about deception. It talks about theft. Okay? It talk about fraud. All that sneaky stuff. Thinking they're going to get away with it. All right? Doing something thinking they was going to get away with it. Okay? That's pretty much what that Seven of Swords talk about. Okay? That's the Seven of Swords. James, can you go open that door? All right, sorry about that. Now, the next card we got is a Two of Swords. Now, that Two of Swords is, it talks about choices. Okay, it can talk about choices. It talk about somebody making uh, indecisive decision. All right, um, being blind to something or feeling stuck. All right, okay. So maybe this here is what would be the reflect. The what is it? The reflex. Maybe that would be the reflex. That Two of Swords would be the reflex of that Seven of Swords. Okay, that's how I can see that. All right, all right. Now, um, so that was pretty much of the reason why I feel right there. Okay. So let's get one more. I don't care what it is you would like to share, but what else can you say here when it comes to this escape? All right. Okay, we have here a page of cups. All right, we have a page of cups. So with the page of cups, it's like Spirit was saying, they're pleased with it. And I feel it's also given a confirmation that you will see something change in a positive way. All right. You will notice something change once you delete that word from your vocabulary. Okay. All right. So let me tell you about a page of cups. That's really what I'm feeling in my spirit. Because the page of cup, it represents emotional and intuitive message. I am giving you an intuitive message. All right. But this card also tell you about career, creativity, personality. All right. Maybe you start seeing a change in your personality because what we saw patience, we saw gratitude, we saw celebration, and we did see what beneath as well, right? Okay. Something telling me to get this beneath, and I'm gonna put it to the side. All right, because I know that's where a lot of the information can be coming from. Okay, when it comes to even the Bible itself. All right, I know where it was rooted from. Okay, and I utilized the Bible to give the introduction for this message. Right. Okay, so again, with this here Seven of Swords, I feel that this Two of Swords here, okay, can be a reflection of that. And I feel that with this message, people will be able to see some type of change, okay? And then we got general. It says new. So maybe this is something new. Maybe they probably said they'll never hear a person telling other people to stop saying that word, okay? They probably be like, ain't no way. I ain't never heard nobody told people don't say that word no more. Okay? It was unexpected. Look at that, and I just got a confirmation on my phone. Y'all see it up there? It said, I ain't never heard nobody say don't use that word. How did she know? Most High told me. Okay? And then it talks about the love, relationship, career, and creativity. Maybe then you'll have build up to the point of what you need to start your own job. Have money to adventure out on your own creativity. Have your money so that you can call your boo anytime you want to and say, hey, let's go for a cup of coffee. Let's go out to dinner. Let's plan us a weekend getaway. You will have it. Why? We got savings out here. That money is a reason why Spirit told me that money. See there? I ain't giving you no power, no strength now. This is still in the message. You got some cash on hand, okay? You got some change in your pocket, okay? So, that's what I'm really feeling there. Now, I mean, I feel a good vibe from it, y'all. Like I say, try it. You won't know until you try it, right? Okay? Just delete that word from your vocabulary. Anytime you hear that word, denounce it. Okay? Just like that. Or your family, hey, don't say that word. Say cash. Say change. Say savings. But we ain't using that M word no more. Okay. Now let's go over and over here with the savings. All right. You're gonna feel light. Have time to plan ahead. You even talk about your intuition, trusting yourself, believing that, hey, I got a made up mind. If I stop using this word, I'm going to start seeing something better when it comes to my finances. All right. So let's talk about the savings, please, Spirit. And then we're going to look individually at beneath because that's really like the only word that's standing out for me besides secret. Okay? Oh, look at that. We got the emperor. And who did I say? I said, you ain't going to hear these peoples, the elites. You ain't going to hear them saying this word. That's why they good with their finances. I bet this person right here don't use that M word. He probably say investment, stock, bond, check. Okay. It making sense to me, boy. Okay. All right, Father. Okay. What else we got here? Let's see. Let's see what else we got. It makes sense to me. Man, I'm 40 minutes in. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm enjoying this little message already. Look at that. The devil. That talks about, okay, you even have, I look at it like this. You going to have money for your desires. You going to overcome your fears. You going to lessen that obsession. Okay, I'll take the devil card. Because that right there is really only just clarifying this message even the more. I'll take it. Okay. And then what else we got? Let's get about one more card. So overall, spirit, let's come back to spirit now and bring them back into the message. So overall, I'm hoping that those that will hear this video whenever I put this video out, overall, I feel very, very sure from this message that you are actually saying just that. When we delete that word from our vocabulary, we're going to see a better result in our finances. So can you give us a confirmation? And then we would like to know what is being said with beneath. There go the Knight of Swords. I like that because this card here, it talks about that having some mental clarity. It talks about taking actions. All right. It talks about that mental clarity. It talks about taking actions, taking control over your life, your finances. All right. It talks about the intellect, direct communication. It says charging forward to overcome what? Obstacles. With determination. That's really what I'm seeing there. Okay. And it says here, keyword swiftness, assertiveness, intellect, directness, impulsive. So it may be even something even shifting in the spiritual realm with this one message. It also talks about the ambition, impatient. I don't know where that coming from. But all in all, I'm more so picking up on um, the ambition. And my word was to the Most High. Okay. So something may even be shifting in the spirit, y'all. Before I go to beneath. No, let's go to beneath. Because maybe that's why beneath is out here because of what I said. And I feel that something may have shifted. Especially to see this here Knight of Swords. So yes, we do need to clarify beneath. There you go. There you go. Do you see it? I ain't got to tell you what it is. Do you see it? I hope y'all see it. Okay, I ain't even gonna tell you because if you know anything, yeah, look it up. Look up that card if you're unfamiliar with tarot. Because see, if you watch my page, you're gonna learn about tarot. Okay. And you're gonna learn about seeing things from a different perspective. And you're gonna learn how to grow spiritually. Okay? All right. That's what I aim to do. Okay. So I'm convinced. What about you? I'm gonna turn the flashlight on in the daylight. Okay. So all I can say is all praises to the Most High. So yeah, I wanted to come and do this message because, like I said, 2 days ago, Spirit came to me and told me that. And like I said, with me knowing who I am, and it made a hell of a lot of sense to me. Okay, why he told me that. And maybe, it will also make some sense to you guys because I think we're all different in our own unique way. But however, you can't say that you never knew, okay? Because he sent his daughter to sound the alarm, okay? And like I was saying, you guys, even be cautious with that biblical verse, okay? All right. And if you was to recite that, uh, just be a little bit more wise because, like I said, that Bible verse is not about the Christ that sacrificed his life. Okay, it, it's not even about him. Okay, it's a whole nother deity. All right, that is talking about. It's not even talking about Yeshua. Okay, so I'm gonna end it there, you guys. And like I said, I just wanted to come and do a reading on it. Moving forward, I want to be my father, and even if you have to catch yourself, because it may take you a little bit time to just, especially when you so used to things. But I'm just gonna try to shift back to how I was when I was a kid. Hey, you got some cash? You got some change? Okay, that's how I used to talk, like for real. So that makes sense to me now why Spirit used to always have me asking people for change or asking them if they had some coins, because I never really used that M word until I got older. All right. So now Spirit is taking that word away from me. All right. He said to delete that word from my vocabulary, to never say it no more. Okay? And all I can say is all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Talk to you later.